The family sat in their ATV parked on the street. Ilse pet her little dog to settle her nerves. She spoke to Atara, disappointed but not mad. You truly caused damage this time, possibly more than we can handle peaceably. If you love your humans so much, you wouldn't force us to have to take such drastic measures. The mortal police holds one of our mistakes in their hands, and now it lands on us to rip her away, Elsa said from the ample back seat. We massacred them, Mother. No survivors, Corona said with more glee than she should have. Lord Bristol interjected. No, not yet. We have methods that will wound much harder than tooth and claw. A confidently dressed man walked into the police station with Lord Bristol and Elsie flanking him on either side. When the family called Winston Woodrow, most people would have preferred to have dealt with a pack of werewolves ripping them apart over a vicious lawyer taking them for all they were worth. He approached Verge at the front desk. Winston Woodrow, attorney at law, he said as if that was enough. Officer Woody and Odell questioned the young Asian woman who escaped her brush with death. She wore awful thrift store clothes that were too big for her. So where are you from, miss? Said Woody, breaking the ice. The woman struggled to talk, or she didn't want to. She was infinitely hard to read, so Odell stepped in telling him what he knew from their first bizarre encounter. Her friend said she's from Michigan. Woody scoffed and smirked. This girl's too little for Michigan. A Packers fan would eat her, he said playfully. Odell shrugged, as if that was all he knew. That's what her buddy told me. Ma'am, do you speak English? Woody asked. Ling looked at the two like she didn't know what they were talking about. Winston Woodrow, Lord Bristol, Ilse, and her toy dog entered the break room, interrupting their soft interrogation. Verge, what the fuck is this? Why did you bring them back here? Said Woody. He thought, and as if struck by lightning. They wrote you a check, didn't they? Asked Woody. Verge shrugged in a what can I say sort of way. Hi, I'm Winston Woodrow, attorney at law, said the shrewd viper-like lawyer. How did you get here so fast? Odell asked. Woody answered for him. Money like they got turns anyone into the Flash. I've come to take the girl with us, Winston said plainly. Sorry, that won't be possible, not until we know who it is and what your relation is to her. Officer Woody spoke with equal candor. Look, all this seems very strange, I'm sure, but really, there's nothing going on here that's illegal or immoral, said Ilse, cutting in, barking dog under her arm. I can't prove you're lying, but I'm not letting you walk out of here with this girl because your family owns most of the land around here. I just found a half-naked Asian woman running through the woods that somehow is your ward. That won't tell us her name. And you want me to believe it's no big deal. Woody spoke in a way that said, no check was getting them out of this one. It can all be simply explained. She's a refugee, Ilse said. As if animated to life from a strike of lightning, Ling spoke up in broken but plain English. Fuck you. Everyone looked to the woman as if shocked she could talk at all, let alone in English. I'm a sophomore at Quinn Paul, cunt. Ilse took out a small handkerchief and fanned herself as if that language had given her the vapors like a southern belle. The fact she could talk was definitely going to make this deal harder. My family has graciously taken her in during her time of need. She'll be working on our estate, said Ilse, attempting to reconstruct a storyline on the fly. Can you speak English, miss? Is this woman your employer? Woody asked Ling. My English better than you, hick cop. I don't know this, Ling said, but was interrupted. Ilse talked over the Asian girl before she got to the truth of the matter. She'll be helping in the kitchen, said Ilse. These people are trying to kidnap me. I was in Shanghai 2 days ago. Make your own mushu pearl, bitch, Ling screamed. The two cops looked back to Lord Bristol and Ilsa sternly, as if it were a tennis match and the ball was now in their court. You heard her. She doesn't want to go with you. And it doesn't matter how many Renfield lawyers you bring in here. She's not going with you, said Woody, as if that was that. I don't think it would be in your best interest to inconvenience me or my family. We help fund your department with our donations, Ilse said, threatening in the way of the rich over the monster. With money? You mean those uniform shirts that give me a rash? Said Odell. My family doesn't appreciate ingrates, Ilse replied, with barely contained rage. Her little dog mirrored her disapproval with frantic yerping. So I'm supposed to give you a little Asian girl out of gratefulness, said Officer Woody. You asked your girlfriend for pretty much the same thing for your birthday last year, boss, blurted Odell absent-mindedly. Shutting up, Odell spoke without even being told. Looks like she's not going with your end of the story, said Woody. His hand inched to his revolver in remembrance of the arm twist Ilsa put on him earlier, expecting a similar outburst. At that moment, the lawyer Winston stepped in to diffuse the boiling tension. I have all the paperwork pertaining to the family's guardianship of this woman. She said she doesn't want to go with you. She said she was kidnapped. I have to take this serious. So what? I'm supposed to take your word over hers? Does she look like she's fucking 10 years old to you? Woody said, as if he was surprised the snake-like lawyer was still trying to make this work. I'm going to say this one last time, and I'm going to swear, so forgive me in advance for my unprofessionalism. Get the fuck out of my police station, you entitled rich assholes, Woody said with bass in his voice, baring his teeth in a sense. He went into his pocket and ripped up their check to emphasize how serious he was. Ilse began to breathe hard. She became slightly more hairy, and she comically dropped her dog. Like an old war vet with a bum knee that could feel a storm coming, Lord Bristol saw the change in her. He looked to all the cameras, pointing at them with extreme concern. He grabbed Ilse's wrist, and his eyes glowed with power, as if to back her down with his dominance. He shielded this minor bout of hairiness from everyone's immediate gaze by stepping in front of her, blocking the human's view. No, said Bristol to Ilse in an excited whisper. Ilse spoke back in a deep demonic voice.
Yes,
she said in contradiction, wanting to give the beast what her heart willed. Bristol broke into Ilse's wrist with an awesome strength and a monstrous voice of his own.
no, we are seen.
Ilse stopped her transformation with extreme difficulty, then took out a handkerchief from her purse and fanned herself. Lord Bristol quickly ushered her out of the police station to avert a disaster. I don't know what the fuck just happened, said Woody to Odell. They both looked at the lawyer in unison, giving him a "Why the fuck are you still here?" glare. Get the fuck out, both cops said in sync.